morning, everyone. My name is Karla, and you have reached my FlossTube channel, KarlaBeingCrafty, where I talk about mostly cross stitch, but also other crafts that I enjoy, and a little bit of life thrown in. It is Sunday. It is May 16th here. It's almost 10 o'clock. I think I got a little bit of a slow start this morning. I started to do the video, and Big Era was doing his winding through my legs and talking things, so I figured I'd just let him start the video with me before we get into anything. So it is, I woke up this morning and it was like pouring rain, so that's kind of a weird thing, but it's kind of gray. I don't know if it's gonna rain more today, but that's how we are here in Southern California. I would like to say welcome. If this is your first time finding my channel, I'm so glad that you found me, and welcome. I hope you like what you see, want to hit like and subscribe. I have my cat in front of me, so you're going to see little hairs flying everywhere because yes, my apartment is filled with specialty baggy fibers everywhere. I have to have those little roller things because especially if I'm working on white fabric or something, all of a sudden I'll look at it and I'm like, why is this covered with black cat hair? It's because there's black cat hair everywhere. Anyway, so welcome if you're new, welcome back if you are a returning subscriber. I want to give a very big thank you, shout out to Kathleen Powell for buying me some coffee this week using the Buy Me a Coffee link that is listed down below if you're watching this on your phone or on your computer. That is something that is completely not required or necessary, but very much appreciated, and I really do enjoy and love the support that you guys give me, whether it's monetary support through Buy Me a Coffee, or whether it's stitchy kindness that I've gotten several times, or food kindness that I got several months ago. Somebody, Tanya Kane from, I want to say New Zealand. Yeah, New Zealand. She sent me a big old box of treats when I started doing my tasting boxes. She sent me something from New Zealand, so that was great, and introduced me to Marmite, which I love now, so thank you very much for that. But yeah, just a big thank you and welcome to everybody, and I really enjoy everything that you guys share with me, so thank you. And thank you, Kathleen. Okay, I don't have a lot of like life stuff to share with you today. My ring light is like reflecting in my glasses, and oh, it's bugging me today. Is that any better? Not really. Oh well. I guess I'll just have to live with it. Last week was Mother's Day, and when I did my video, it was not bothering me. I do have to say later in the day, I had a couple difficult moments. For those of you who are very new, I lost my mother at the end of January this year due to COVID, complications from COVID. So it was not an expected thing. I mean, she wasn't a super healthy person, but she got COVID and passed within like 2 weeks. So yeah, the whole thing, it was unexpected. It was difficult. I mean, obviously anybody who's gone through the loss of anybody, parent, child, pet parent, I mean, anything like that is devastating. Losing your mother is a class in and of itself, I think. And I've had some not okay moments this week. Nothing like awful. I just, I feel like sometimes like I just have this like lump of sad inside me, and so there are times when that lump is a little bit more pressure filled than other times, and so I've had some moments where it was hard. What happens with me, I find, is when I'm feeling that way, when I'm feeling a little bit down in the dumps or feeling anything like that, I tend to just not be able to do much of anything. I'm kind of like a blob. and I've been feeling that way, which is difficult because I feel like there's all this stuff I want to get accomplished at my apartment, and like, you know, tour wise, which is not my favorite thing to start with, but you know, when I'm not home, or you know, it's at night and I'm planning for the next day, I'm very energetic in what I want to do, and then it comes down to it and I don't really do much. So it's kind of a vicious cycle. I know I'm not the only person who deals with this kind of thing occasionally, and I'm perfectly fine, and there's no need to worry, but that is my reality right now, is I have moments of feeling perfectly fine and moments of feeling kind of bleh. And I'm kind of in a bleh place. I'm still stitching though. It's funny for me right now, at least, like, even though when I feel like not as productive as I wish I was, I still feel like doing the stitching. So that, I guess that's a silver lining to this cloud. My office hasn't moved yet. I know I mentioned that last week, so that's still hanging over there. So I'll keep you updated on that. You know, it's gonna happen eventually. But anyway, let's get on to the stitching. I don't have, as I said, I don't have that much to talk about this week as far as stuff. So let's move on to stitching and what I did in my craft world. I did do a bit more work on my fabric organization that I talked to you guys about last week. I had a Zoom call with some friends on Friday, as we've been doing for like over a year now, and instead of stitching or doing diamond pinning or whatever, because we always kind of do that kind of stuff while we're on the Zoom call, I worked on my cat hair. I worked on my fabric organization. So I got this box kind of full, and as you can see, I did alternate. This is all Aida, this box. So it goes from 14 to 22. Yeah, so I have Hardanger at the back here. And I just switched every count, like the side that I was wrapping it on, which I think makes it fit a little bit better. So this is all my Aida. And then I have another box where the even weaves and linens and stuff will go in. And then I was doing a little bit of organization, and was going through other, like, I have everything like sorted into boxes, and I try and keep it neat and pretty and whatever. But I was going through and I realized I have several other bins. I mean, not huge bins, but little bins of like fabric, because I have like a bin that's all like weight and ecru and stuff that I consider like dyeing fabric. It's not stuff that I would stitch on as is. It's stuff to do something with. So I have a bin of that, which I'm not going to organize this way. But then I also had like a little box of like more neutral fabrics that I wouldn't necessarily dye, that I would use the way they are. But for some reason I pulled them all out and separated them. So I need to incorporate them now into what I was doing. But I'm enjoying that project actually, and I like having it organized that way. I started a new little project, and it was easy to go through and decide in my head, well, I really want to have this be small, so I want to stitch in a Hardanger, and I went to the Hardanger section. It was easy to pick something out. So I am liking this method a lot. So thank you, Steel City Stitchers, for introducing me to it. And yeah, I'm enjoying it, and I think it's going to be a really effective way to store stuff so that it is kept neat and organized. Sorry. Neat and organized, and but still easily accessible and usable. So which is, you know, I think an important thing. Okay, so I didn't have any finishes this week, but as I said, I did have a new start. It was a spur of the moment, on a whim kind of thing. You know, you get those like bug in your ear kind of things. And I'm going to actually put in my haul along with that, because I didn't really have any haul this week, except for I printed out a few patterns from an Etsy shop. I got this idea in my head that I wanted to stitch like a monochromatic, like a black out, you know, like one of those silhouette type things, with some silk. Because I have, all of a sudden I have a little haul of silk, which I never thought I had any. And then I know I bought a lot for my my mother's project. And at the same time, I think I put in an order with one of the Etsy shops for like the little bits, you know, where you just get a bunch of different colors. And I realized I have a bunch of silk and I am using it for my mom's project, which I'm actually going to show you this week. But, you know, I don't know. I had it in my head I wanted to use some silk. I don't know why. So I had a few minutes at work at lunchtime and I went on to Etsy and I found a shop that had the kind of silhouette patterns that I wanted. And instead of getting just one, I ended up getting 5 because they were having a buy 5 and everything's 50% off. And actually I had put like 2 in my cart and realized that if I bought the 5 and got the 50% off, I would actually be paying less than paying for 2. So I got 5. The 3 that I just got just cause kind of thing. This one, which I really like this one. So this might be a sooner rather than later type project. This one, which would make a cute little, if you stitch it small enough, it make a cute little ornament type thing for my seasonal monthly tree, which I haven't switched out since April, but it's fine. It's all like spring right now and it's got purple roses and stuff for my mom on it. And that's the same one. And this one. Again, just because it was cute and ended up being like $1 something, $2, less than $2, because my whole thing was about 8 for 5 patterns. Then I got this one. So the 2 that I want to stitch kind of right now is this one and the one I started. So, and I'm calling them Moon Fairy 1 and 2. So this would be Moon Fairy 2. And what's funny is I know I posted on Instagram, I haven't talked about here. I've been using Inkbox temporary tattoos. They're like a 2 or 3 week tattoo thing, and I've been using them on my wrist and on my finger, and I've been putting like roses and butterflies and stuff like that, kind of for my mom. I just like having that little reminder right there. But I put this one on this week, and then look, this is the same thing. So obviously I like this image. So this is going to be the Moon Fairy 2, so that'll be the second one that I do. But the one that I actually started on Friday is this one, which I'm calling Moon Fairy 1. And as I said, I wanted to do it kind of small-ish. So I'm doing it with black silk on Hardanger, and this is a Hardanger that I dyed myself. And so Friday night I just put in the outline of the moon so I can fill in, because my goal is to get it so that all I need to do is fill in, not need to look at the chart. And then this piece of fabric is big enough that I can do the other one on the bottom. And then I'll decide if I want to cut them apart, which I think I will want to cut them apart because the moons face the opposite direction, and I hang them like, probably just do a hoop finish and hang them like that. So this is one of my favorite pieces of fabric that I dyed, so I really want to use it. Okay. So that was my new start. Okay, and then whips this week. And did I not pull that one? I didn't. Oh, that does the seconds. Okay, so as I said, last Sunday was Mother's Day. I was missing my mama, so I decided to stitch on the Always My Mother pattern that I'm doing kind of in tribute to her. So it's this pattern, Peter Underhill, and I am doing it all on with silks. I'm changing the pink rose to purple rose, and I'm changing the words a little bit. Instead of saying always my mother, forever my friend, it's going to say always my mother, forever in my heart. This is on a 25 count Lugana Splash in Petal Pink. And that's where I got. This is the weirdest pattern. It's got these like you know, the offset stitches. It's very weird and not difficult to follow. It's just fiddly because it's got all of these fractional stitches, and it looks kind of, I think it's one of these things that's going to look kind of weird until you get it done and then step back, and then you're going to see the dimension in it. And I'm not pushing myself on that. I'm not stitching on it for super long periods of time. I'm just putting in a few strands. I want this to grow and let it take my feelings. Yeah, this project's just slightly different than anything I'm working on because of the reasons that I'm doing it. So I like it. It makes me feel good to work on it. But I'm not working on it a lot. I'm not working on it with any kind of deadline in mind at this point. And I just, you know, Sunday I wanted to work on it, so I worked on it for an hour or so, and yeah, I got quite a bit of progress on it, but what I did was just enough. Okay, what else did I work on this week? I worked on Lavender Roses. This is my very first Hade. It was started in April or May 2019, so it's getting on, it's around its birthday, I guess. I was going gangbusters on this when I first started it, and then I got whip after whip after whip, and it got worked on less and less. So, but I still love it, and I am getting closer and closer to finish. So, really pretty, isn't it? Yeah, I like this one. So that is Lavender Roses. Kitty Magic. This is my most recent Hade. And this is gonna like look like nothing. Because I'm still kind of in that corner background area. This is by Katarina Koukiotis. And this one is being stitched on 20 count. Right now I have full coverage. I have one on 16, one on 18, one on 20, and one on 25. Hades. I have other, well, yeah. Oops. I'll give you guys the pattern. Not that that would do you any good for anything, but still. Okay, oops. So, I know it doesn't really look like anything. So it's getting down into, now that I moved down the diagonal a little bit, it looks, I think on camera or even in real life right now, it just looks like dirty. But it's because I'm getting into more of that pearl gray, so it's bringing in the gray instead of just the bright white. So I know it doesn't really look like anything yet, but I'm enjoying it. It's funny, I'm using, I'm still doing my diagonal stitching, and I'm sure that when I get more into the cat and there's more colors, I will be going back to more of my typical way of stitching, which is kind of to do row by row in my 10 row diagonal or 10 stitch diagonal. But because as it is now, I'm just having like 2 or 3 colors in the whole thing. I'm doing more of techniques that I've kind of heard other people talk about, just because for right now it makes more sense, where I'm kind of almost color completing within the diagonal, and because there's only a couple. So it's going faster because of that. So I'm finding that each project I have, I'm using slightly different techniques. And I like that, and it works for each one. So, I mean, my rules for myself change with every project I do, depending on the kind of project it is. So I kind of find that interesting. Okay, so that's Kitty Magic. Lila's Studio, All Hallows Eve. I worked on this again this week, and I posted this on Instagram. I am doing this, aside from being part of Cat Mania, I'm doing it as a stitch along with Amy Sprinkleton Stitches. Although I don't know if Amy has started hers yet. I know she started a new job and got a new cat. So her life is pretty busy right now. So I don't know if she's actually started yet. But talking to her encouraged me to start this one. So, and we decided to sell it. So whether she starts it or not, I'm still enjoying posting and talking about her and talking about the pattern. And okay, so I think since the last time you saw it, I don't know if you saw the bird before. I don't think he was there, but the bird and the top of the cute witch's head and hat, and some more of the border done over here. Not a lot, but so yeah, this is coming out really good. The variegation in the purple is not showing as much as it does in real life, but it's really pretty. And I'm glad that I decided to make her hair purple instead of the orange. I'm using my own colors as I usually do, although I'm kind of sticking a bit towards what it you know, I'm using the pattern as a guide, let's say, as an inspiration. But I'm really glad that I decided to use the purple for her hair, because it speaks to me. Now I have the other pattern. I'm looking to see if it's like really close. No, it isn't. But there's the other Lila Studio pattern that is called Autumn Harvest or Harvest Time or something like that. And it's the same girl and the same cat. It's the same girl and the same cat. And there's, I think the sign, there's a pumpkin down here instead of the cauldron, and she's wearing kind of like plaid and like a little kicky beret, and it's really cute too, and it's definitely a companion piece to this in my mind. But when I stitch that, I think I'm going to make her hair like maybe more like magenta colored instead of purple, because you know, we women can change our hair color when we want. Men too. Anybody can change it. So I think that I will switch it up a little bit and do that same girl with maybe slightly different hair color. Okay. Oh, next one. This is Night Creatures by The Gathering Place. This was a pattern that was gifted to me by Michelle Bendy Stitchy, and I'm stitching it on a BestitchMe fabric with mostly mostly Mystical Diamond Art threads. Not all Mystical Diamond Art, but mostly Mystical Diamond Art, and then I have a few Color and Cotton, a few Gentle Arts, and this is the Classic Colorworks, but mostly it's Mystical Diamond Art. All the white ones, the white labels are Mystical Diamond Art. And this is a piece of BestitchMe fabric called Sleet. And I finished this pod. Before it was only partially done, but now it's finished. And did a little bit more on the moon. So as you can see, I've changed kind of the color scheme on the pods. In the pattern, they're more like gold, orange, mustardy colors, and I'm changing them to be pink and magenta and coral, that kind of tone. because I like those colors better. Mustard and yellow are just not, and even orange. I mean, they're my colors sometimes, but just not typically. So it just made sense to me to bring it more towards the pinky side. So still warm, but just different. And then the final thing I worked on this week, which I worked on quite a bit yesterday, was the Laurel Birch cat collage. This is my New Year, New Start project for this year. I got this myself, but I got it using a gift card from my friend Dawn Frisch from Arizona. She sent me a gift card for Hanukkah, and so I kind of earmarked that and got this specifically. So I know that this is from Dawn, which is nice. And here I am on that one. And so this is a kit, so I'm using all the kit stuff except for I changed out the fabric. It came with a 14 count Aida, which is kind of stiff and just it didn't feel nice, so I changed it out for 28 count. Even weave, which I like a lot better. It doesn't really matter as far as looks because, you know, only this top little section right here is the only part that isn't stitched. I mean, it's pretty much full coverage. But I am liking stitching on this better, I think, than I would have the stiff Aida. So I just take that white fabric and I can use it as a dyeing piece, so I can soften it up and dye it and everything. So let's see. Last time you saw it, these two cats were completed, and this one just had like his ears done. So I finished this cat and this cat face, and then I'm kind of gonna bring it down and do in here, and then I might move it. So I just really love, I mean, the Laurel Birch cats are just, I mean, they're so like not natural looking cats, right? But there's just something about them. Just they're so quirky, and I just love their personalities, and each one is so different in his face. And as you can see, I'm doing, this is all back stitching, and I'm doing it all as I go because like this cat, before he's back stitched, he had no face at all. So it's like I tend to do back stitching as I go. I don't mind back stitching at all, but it's not something I want to leave to end. So I tend to totally do it as I go. So as I'm finishing a cat, then I'm doing the back stitching. So this one still needs his whiskers, but I haven't put it in yet because I need to finish down in this area so that I can back stitch the whiskers because they go past his little face. And then this guy, this light purple, comes all the way down here. And then he has a lot of like back stitching stripes on him. So this one's really fun to work on. And I was gonna, because it is pretty much full coverage, at first I was gonna do it like I do my Hades and do the 10 roofings, and it didn't work out that way because there's just so many big blocks of color. I'm doing more of a color completing and as I'm going down. But I will, if I have a color and I finish the area, I will kind of park the thread until I get to it. I'm not counting that much. I'm finishing sections and then going back. So that was all of my projects for this week. This is going to be a shorter video, I think, than I normally do. So haul, I already showed you. That's all I got this week was those few Etsy patterns. So yay me, I didn't spend money this week. Seems like for the first time in a long time. That was good. That was good on me. I did get another one of these bags, which I haven't gotten out of my, still in my mailbox, but I got it to bring to Stacy, to give to Stacy. So there's one of these waiting for me, for her, in my mailbox. And yeah, I think that's it as far as I didn't get any other haul. So plans for the coming week. Obviously, I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing now, work on my Cat Mania projects. I haven't worked on the Bellatrix or Wind Moon Fairy for a couple weeks now. So maybe I'll get those out because they need some time this month, definitely too. It's hard when I start new things, and the problem is I like all my projects. So when I work on one, then I want to work on it again. So, you know, things that I really like end up not getting worked on for a while because I have too many things. So I keep thinking as my stitch count goes up, or my whip count goes up, excuse me, I keep saying to you guys, okay, well, I'm kind of at that top and I can't add any more things. But the problem is that there's other things I want to start. So, you know, I have to balance that. I've had 4 finishes this year, which is 1 a month. So, you know, and I don't know, that doesn't seem as great as I would want it to be. I feel like the last couple years I had a lot more finishes, but I also did a lot more tiny things, and I haven't really done any tiny things yet this year. So maybe I will pull out some like ornament type things for my tree, so that I can at least get some finishes, but I have to start them to get them finished, so that doesn't exactly work. And then, okay, so that's for the rest of this month. I mean, we have what, 2.5 more weeks of May for me to work on all these lovely cat projects. And then I've been doing the like themes for each month, and I'm enjoying that a lot. At least for the time being, I can't see changing that. For me, it's like a really great way to be able to like kind of narrow down to 5 or 6 projects, you know, in a theme. And then I don't feel like overwhelmed by, I have too many projects, I don't know what to work on. And B, it just makes it easier to pick for that day. So I kind of like having that theme thing. So it means that some things are not going to get stitched on for a while because they don't fit into whatever theme, but you know, eventually I'll stitch on everything, right? I guess that's just how it is. So for June, I'm knocking around in my head having kind of a purple passion theme. I have a lot of things that kind of have a purple, I don't want to say theme, but I have my violet nosegay, count and canvas piece that I really like to get done. And I think that if it's one of my focus pieces for the month, I would be able to maybe finish that. I have Bellatrix, which is all shades of purple or magenta, which is kind of the same thing. I have Night Walk Down, which is on that glorious purple fabric. So I have a lot of things that have kind of a purpley, either that I'm stitching with purple thread, or it's on a purple fabric, or it's just like kind of purple themed project. So I think that I might use Purple Passion as my June theme. July, I'm thinking about calling my theme Stars and Stripes. A, because it's July, just cause. B, then, but I'm putting a twist on it because I do have my one Starburst and Stripes project that I'd like to pull out and work on that. But in addition, then I have a lot of like night themed projects or things that kind of have to do with the stars, and so I'm going to pull those out. Again, I have Night Walk Down, I have Night Creatures, I have Star Trek that I'm stitching for my brother, so all those things would come out during the Stars and Stripes month. And then that brings us to August, which is my birthday month and the height of summer, and so it'll be birthday themed and summer, I think mermaids. So I have my Shannon Christine mermaids, and then I have the beautiful Bella Filipina pattern that I really want to start, that I've got everything for. So I think that will be started in August. I will have my Black Cat birthday style. I'll have to pick something to start. I think I will start a new thing, but it's going to be something small this year, just because I still am working on Night Walk Down. So I want something that's a reasonable size. I also have a little Mill Hill lion ornament that I want to start because I've always, well, not always, but I've started, last 2 years, I've started a lion project on my birthday. So in 2019, I did the Lion of Judah, and then in 2020, I did, I don't know, did I start that on my birthday? I think I did. I did Satsuma Street's Leo. So I like, you know, following a tradition. So I need to start something lion this year on my birthday. So I think I have that little Mill Hill lion. So that will get started. Yeah, so that brings us through summer. And then September, I don't know yet. At one point, probably September, I'm going to have to pull out all of my Halloween type stitching because I have a bunch of projects that actually I could really get a finish on if I just pull them out this year. So that would be really nice. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. That's pretty much it. So plans today, I'm gonna be stitching, I'm gonna be watching the TV. I have to clean my cat boxes because my poor cat, he puts up with having a great owner sometimes, and so I have to do that today. If nothing else, if I do nothing else, I need to clean his cat boxes so that he has a nice clean box to do his business in, because they're pretty gross right now. Is the not fun thing about having a cat. That and all the specialty fibers everywhere. So it's worth it. His love and cuddles are worth it. So this is a little bit of a shorter video than normal. I hope you guys are okay with that. I hope that you are all having a good May, and if you're having a few struggles occasionally like I am, you know, we're all here for each other, so it will all work itself out. Just give in to whatever you need to give in to, and take care of yourself, and talk to your good friends, because that's always helpful. You know, the people who care about you, just, you know, let them know what's going on. So anyway, until I see you again next week, then I hope that you try your very hardest to be content, be kind, and be crafty. And I will see you next Sunday, same time, same bat channel. This is Karla. Bye.